everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk. My name is John, and today here on the channel, we're going to be talking about 2002's Punch Drunk Love and its 4K Blu-rays. But before we get into that 4K Blu-ray review, I always like to give a quick film review, and today is no different. So if you don't want to have anything for the film Punch Drunk Love spoiled for you, please make sure you guys skip ahead to that 4K Blu-ray review right now. So back in 2002, Paul Thomas Anderson directed this little film, Punch Drunk Love. This was his follow-up to the movies like Boogie Nights and Magnolia, which were these big sweeping epics, especially with the movie Magnolia. It's got a bunch of different storylines in the air. Boogie Nights is this great epic told over a long period of time. These big films over 2 hours long. And you know what? He decided to make a much smaller film because a lot of people at that time said that this guy was too ambitious. He didn't really know how to make just a regular, straightforward film. And he's like, you know what? Fuck that. My next film's going to be 90 minutes long. I'm going to cast Adam Sandler in there just because he was a big Adam Sandler fan. He's like, this guy gets me. Roger Ebert said it the best. This is like the deconstruction of like the Adam Sandler character that you know on film. Like before this, it was about 7 years where you saw Adam Sandler on film, and before that, he was on Saturday Night Live. And actually, it was a Saturday Night Live skit, the Denise Show, which is one of my all-time favorite Saturday Night Live skits.
Right, now's the time in the show when I like to give Denise a call and hang up on her.
That actually made Paul Thomas Anderson really want to put him in this movie because he felt like that was the character that ends up in this movie right here. And if you watch the Denise Show skit, you can see all the bones for that character in here. Just, obviously the Denise Show. It's a little bit more over the top. This guy's obsessed with his ex-girlfriend. He's calling her up, hanging up on her. His dad's calling him up, freaking out on him, and they're just screaming at each other.
Get it, man! Ryan. She's different! Just butt out! This is my life! You don't own me!
That's the thing about Adam Sandler. He's got that calm side, but when he starts yelling, he's great at it. So I think Paul Thomas Anderson made the right choice casting Adam Sandler in the lead role of this, which is a dark romantic comedy that also features Emily Watson. And Emily Watson, I think, is a great choice as well. She's in one of the more, I would say, disturbing love stories that I've ever seen, which is 1996's Lars von Trier's Breaking the Waves, which is actually the first Lars von Trier film I ever saw because I wanted to get into him for a little while, and I was like, wow. This is definitely unique, and Emily Watson is great. She actually was nominated for an Academy Award in that film. And then again, you bring her in, you bring Adam Sandler in, you get Philip Seymour Hoffman in this movie because, hey, it's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, and Paul Thomas Anderson always got the best out of Philip Seymour Hoffman, always plays a different character. He's great in this movie as the mattress salesman.
Hey, this is Dean Trumbull for the Mattress Man. Give me a call at 370-0466.
But what is this movie all about? Well, Adam Sandler, he's an entrepreneur. He's like got this small business kind of working out of just a like warehouse front, a bunch of different stores just in a line, the mechanic shops next to him. He works there with his buddy and I guess business partner Luis Guzman. But he's a very lonely guy. He's got 7 sisters, and you can see that because he's got 7 sisters, they kind of like broke him down. He was the only guy in the family. They made fun of him, and clearly he's got this like just built up in him, and he gets these like fits of rage, fits of anger, these crying fits. He just doesn't know how to deal with his emotions. He really needs to see a therapist, and he's aware of that. He asked his brother-in-law to like get him a number to a therapist, and because he just doesn't know how to like communicate with other people on a great level because he's got just such horrible social anxiety, he goes to his brother-in-law thinking he can help him out. The guy's a dentist. They'll get him a phone number, but of course he's going to tell his sister about that, and that just creates more issues for him. His family's like just kind of like pushing him away. He needs something. And this movie also features a lot of like color hues on the screen where you'll see like blue, which represents, obviously Adam Sandler's suit in the movie is blue. That kind of represents his loneliness. But then Emily Watson comes in the movie, and every time you see her, she's wearing red. And what that's supposed to represent is the hope that she can bring to his life. Maybe get him out of that funk, get him out of his loneliness. He could finally like open up to somebody else. And you can see early on, he has trouble with this. He's just trying to go through the motions of not trying to upset her, say all the right things. But then as time starts to go on, he starts to feel more comfortable because he realized, she's a little bit quirky herself. She's a little bit more understanding of what he's going through. She could appreciate him, and she genuinely really wanted to meet him. I guess she thought he was a cute guy because when she saw a picture of him, she was like, yeah, I want to meet that guy. That's why she faked her car, needing to go to the mechanic shop so early in the morning just so she could talk to him. And he needs to hear these things. He needs to know that there's actually somebody who would appreciate him for who he is. And that starts to bring him out of his shell, give him the more confidence that he needs, give him the confidence to stand up to Philip Seymour Hoffman, because he's running also a scam business where, guys like that, back in the day, you don't do this anymore. I don't know if you do this anymore, but back in the day, you were a lonely guy. You can call up a girl online and, have some phone sex. And he did that, gave his credit card information. No idea why he gives out a social security number. That's just dumb. But, they start trying to rip him off. Philip Seymour Hoffman even sends guys out there to, get more money out of him. He gets the only $500 I guess he had in his ATM out of him. But of course now he's feeling confident in himself. He's going to stand up to him. This is where we get that great scene where he actually flies out to Utah, Adam Sandler, and just starts flipping out on him and basically just lays it all out for him. And Philip Seymour Hoffman's like, yeah, I get it. But of course Philip Seymour Hoffman's character's got to be kind of a dick. So as he's walking out the door, he tries to get the last line in. And Adam Sandler, who's still got the phone in his hand, by the way, which is just it's a great little touch. He's like,
Now get the fuck out of here, pervert! Didn't I warn you?
he's like, that's that. And like Philip Seymour Hoffman's like, okay, you know what? All right, I get it. This guy, I shouldn't fuck with him. I've gone a little too far this time. And, a good lesson for Philip Seymour Hoffman's character. Maybe don't try scamming people, because this is the lesson. And you also get the other great storyline throughout with the airline miles and the puddings and everything. He found a loophole to get airline miles, which he says are just as good as cards. So you got that all going on throughout the movie. You also got this great score throughout the movie, which I think helps like build anxiety in moments. Just a phenomenally done score by John Berman. I think it just lends itself perfectly to this film. It doesn't make, this is the kind of movie, it's a 90-minute movie, really quick, very, very, very tight. It hits all the right beats. Pacing of this movie is great. That's the thing about Paul Thomas Anderson. He showed us he can make a very tight 90-minute movie. No scene is wasted at all. It still looks absolutely beautiful. I actually think that this really captures the look of like 2002 and what the world of 2002 looked like. It doesn't feel like the most extremely cinematic film. It actually feels very authentic and very real. I really appreciated the look of this film. It just feels like a regular indie film, and it had a $25 million budget, which is weird. It doesn't look like a $25 million film. It looks like a $5 to $10 million film. I'm guessing like the actors cost some money, and maybe everyone else working on the film, I'm not entirely sure, but it only made $25 million back at the box office, so didn't really become that financially successful. And I think that's why it didn't do as good in the awards race at that time. And always Adam Sandler will just get shafted, whether it be with a movie like this, which was his breakthrough in drama, or Uncut Gems, which is kind of a similar movie to this in a lot of ways when it comes to like the anxiety feeling you get while watching the movie. He also didn't get recognized for that. So Adam Sandler, just because he's always dabbled in comedy, unfortunately, those snooty people at the Academy Awards are always going to turn their noses up to Adam Sandler, and they don't realize what they're missing. He's one of the coolest guys in Hollywood. It seems like a real down-to-earth kind of guy. You would think you'd want that guy at your award show, and this is probably his best shot at winning an Academy Award, because it's really taken what you know about Adam Sandler and kind of turning it upside down. So I don't think he'll ever get that opportunity again, and he doesn't seem like he wants to. He seems like he just wants to make movies with his friends. I could appreciate that. I could respect that. It's not all about winning awards, despite what like Hollywood would want you to think. It's really about, making movies that people genuinely love, and Adam Sandler has definitely nailed that. And this is definitely one of his best performances. So even if you haven't seen this movie, I could highly recommend it, and maybe you want to check it out on one of these 4K Blu-rays that we're going to talk about right now. So my 4K Blu-ray of Punch Drunk Love actually came in the Columbia Classics Volume 4 set that I have right here. And this is actually going to be 2 films out of the Volume 4 set. We're also going to be talking about John Carpenter's Starman on Friday. But today we're here to talk about Punch Drunk Love. And this 4K Blu-ray, it's no longer exclusive to the Columbia Classics Volume 4 set. It's actually going to be getting a Criterion 4K Blu-ray release. At the time you're watching it, it should be available. It comes out this very day that this video is coming out. I looked into it. It doesn't seem like this is a different scan from that Criterion 4K Blu-ray release. I think it just probably has something to do with the rights, because Criterion has released that previously. All the extras look like they're identical. There might be 1 or 2 that are exclusive to the Criterion collection, but nothing like really extravagant, like the making of documentary. Like, it's not even like a full-blown making of documentary. It's on here. It'll be on there. The deleted scenes will be on the Criterion release as well. A good featurette with the composers on here as well. So the extras are decent, just, nothing too special. And if you bought this in the Columbia Classics set, you get the exclusive slipcover on here, which is pretty cool. Volume 4 kind of was leaning into like that hunter green. You come underneath, you get the regular movie poster. Then when you come inside, you got 1 Blu-ray and 1 4K Blu-ray. I think that's the same scan on both the Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray. All your extras will be on that Blu-ray. And because Columbia is a Sony company now, these are Sony 4K Blu-ray discs, and for the most part, any disc that's been released in the Columbia Classics collection, I have all 5 of them. I would love to do a full review of each of them here on the channel if you guys are interested. But for right now, I'm just going to keep pulling movies out that I want to talk about, and I figured with this coming a 4K Blu-ray from the Criterion collection, this has happened before. This also happened with The Last Picture Show, which was in Volume 3. I actually have the Blu-ray of that from the Criterion collection, and the 4Ks in the Volume 3 collection. That's a great movie as well. But anyway, we're here to talk about Punch Drunk Love. But they really give us all the bells and whistles with this. You get a Dolby Atmos track or a Dolby True HD 7.1 that's Dolby Atmos compatible. For a little movie like this, it didn't necessarily need to sound this good, but it really did sound great. For the most part, it's a dialogue-heavy movie, but that score is fantastic, and it plays underneath a lot of the movie, so it did come in crisp and clear. I really did like how they designed the channels for this. I was very, very impressed with the audio track. The visuals, you get Dolby Vision and HDR10, and this is what really stands out. Like I said earlier, this movie does kind of feature that authentic 2002 look to it, but it also does have some cinematic stuff. Like there's some interludes that have this like kind of artwork in there with all the colors. You know, you'll have hues on the screen like in blue and red and pink kind of, or turquoise, you know, depending on what you guys see with your eyes. But like all that stuff pops up, and all that stuff now looks crisp and clear. There's also a lot of lens flare. Paul Thomas Anderson is using that in this movie. It does look a lot like Magnolia and Boogie Nights if you watch it, like very similar shot film. It's just, you know, much more of a smaller film now. It's 90 minutes instead of being like a 2.5-hour epic. But still, it feels like a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. And this, it just reflects so well onto the 4K Blu-ray. That blue suit just stands out. All the colors just stand out significantly now. And the movie wants those colors to stand out to you. So having it on 4K Blu-ray, it's just adding to the film overall, and it is a beautiful looking 4K Blu-ray, as I expected it to be. It even is an improvement on that Blu-ray that's packed in here. That's just the HDR doing its work. You know, things just look brighter now. You know, you get the deeper blacks, the colors themselves are brighter. It just looks more natural, and I really did appreciate that. But even if you just watch that Blu-ray, which I'm not too sure if that Blu-ray's been solely released, like I said, I still think it's really good. But the Criterion 4K Blu-ray should be the same exact scan as this, and if that is 100% true, then you guys are going to be very, very, very happy. So if you don't want to shell out your money and get the Columbia Classics Volume 4 set, maybe you don't like all the movies in there and you want to save a dime or two, definitely check out that Criterion 4K Blu-ray. It should be very, very good as well. And the film itself is fantastic. We need more Paul Thomas Anderson movies on 4K Blu-ray. Now all we have is this, Phantom Thread, and Hard 8 are going to be coming to 4K Blu-ray. That means no There Will Be Blood, no Boogie Nights, no Magnolia, no The Master, which are all, in my opinion, better than Punch Drunk Love, which is a shame because Punch Drunk Love is a great film, and I know a lot of people who think this is their favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie. I just like bigger films, and I do love Adam Sandler. It's just when you compare this to those movies like Boogie Nights, I truly love Boogie Nights. Like Boogie Nights floats in my top 20 films all time, but clearly that's something that just kind of speaks to me. I like movies like that, big epics like Babylon, Goodfellas, even recently The Brutalist. So that's the kind of movie that's going to speak to me, checks a lot of my boxes. Whereas a movie like this, I appreciate it, I can relate a little bit to it, but of course, you know, I just would prefer those bigger movies to come to 4K Blu-ray. But I'm not going to take anything away from this Columbia Classics release of Punch Drunk Love. I definitely think it's worth your time and money, and I would give the Columbia Classics 4K Blu-ray release a very solid 9 out of 10. But guys, it's also Tuesday, and that means it's time for our digital code giveaway. In every single video we do here on the channel on Tuesday, I ask you guys 2 digital code giveaway questions. All you have to do is answer 1 in the comment section. As long as you did that, you came back to this video right here. I put your name on a magic wheel. I spun that wheel 2 times. The 2 names it landed on, they have their choice. The digital codes that you've seen on your screen before you today. But before we spin that magic wheel, just want to talk to you guys a little bit about channel memberships. We usually do our channel memberships wheel giveaway this week as well, where I give a 4K Blu-ray out to one of our channel members. Well, one of our channel members, J4Ack, has actually won a couple times, and he actually hasn't reached out, so, you know, if he wants to, he can get a 4K Blu-ray release. But then the other 3 channel members, John Doe Juggalo, Frank from Frank's Media Reviews, and Mr. Smelly Potato, I'm just going to send you guys a 4K Blu-ray this month. So I'll send you guys the list and everything that's on there. I'll probably add a couple more, and then you guys could just pick from that. And I'll just mail that to you guys next Tuesday. I do want to adjust the channel memberships, guys, because I do feel like the tiers right now are a little bit uneven, and I want to add new perks. So look for that in the next week or 2. I just haven't had much time to give you guys a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. I've wanted to do this for a little bit, but just with my regular Joe job, my personal life, things have been very, very, very backed up. You know, I just want to make sure I get these regular videos out to you, and then, you know, I'll work on the other stuff. But for all my channel members, thank you guys all so much. We'll send you guys out a 4K Blu-ray. And now for everybody else who entered into this digital code giveaway, let's spin this magic wheel and see who our 2 lucky winners are. All right, congratulations, Master LaFresh and Mr. Unknown Seeker. You guys have both won in the past, so you know how this works. Reach out to me at my email address, letstalkentmt@gmail.com, or you can reach out to me on the artist formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and just let me know which one of those digital codes you want. As long as the other winner didn't take them, that digital code is all yours. And guys, we do this every single week, so make sure you guys come back to this Friday's video, which will be the Starman 4K Blu-ray review, and we'll do this all over again. Thank you guys all so much for entering into the digital code giveaway. Thank you guys all much for all of your support. It really does mean the world to me. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We have those channel memberships, so you can look for all that information in the description below. But if you got no money to throw away, guys, as always, we don't mind at all. We just hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, get out in those streets, tell your friends about us, and then we'll be seeing you around.